Welcome to Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association. We're joined by cross-country head coach Dave Rinker for another Coach's Show. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So we're coming off of the CAA Championships, where we finished second out of 9 teams with 54 points. We had 3 All-CAA runners for the first time since 2012. So with all that said, how did you feel about the results?
Well, I thought we ran close to about as good as we could. I mean, Women Mary is just, they're one of the top 25 teams in the country, and they ran really well on top of everything else. So we beat some very good teams. Elon's a very good team. And College of Charleston, a couple other schools are coming on and being very good. So it was a quality race for us. I think that everybody went out. They followed the race plan. We went after Women Mary. We did not back down. And they're just so good. They ran us in the ground a little bit and allowed the meet to be a little bit closer between us and Elon than it could have been if we'd been a little more conservative early. But I was real proud of the women.
Now, the 3 All-CAA runners that I mentioned were sort of the usual suspects with Tessa, Carol, and Kathleen, but it was definitely a team effort to get that result. Some other great results that day or finishes that day, were Olivia in 16th, Erica in 17th, and Aaron finished 24th. So there was plenty of other, JMU runners who did well. So talk about just sort of that team effort to get the second place that day.
Well, under a perfect scenario, we had hoped to have 3 possibly in the top 10, which we did. But the other 2 we were hoping maybe a little bit higher. But they ran great races, and that was by far the best race of the year we've had out of Aaron and Jackie O'Shea, who was our 7th runner. They both made very big jumps, big PRs. Erica Gray had a nice PR, and Carol had a PR. So when you go in and you're running personal best, personal records from 4 out of your top 7, then you've had a great day.
Yeah, I believe Jackie finished 30th in that race too, so she definitely showed out very well. Now, the track that you ran on, or not the track, but the course that you ran on, was much sandier maybe than you're used to. The elements were good, despite the storm having come a little bit earlier. How was the track, or how was the course rather, that you ran on?
Actually, the course was in great shape. There were a couple muddy spots, wet spots, but overall it was completely flat. It was like looking at your table. A couple slight rises, but nothing to mess anybody up, the rhythms up. And a lot of it was on hard-packed roads, sandy but hard-packed dirt, sand with some rock into it. And so it was a great, very fast course, which really in some ways hurt us because it went out so fast, and we were trying to mix it up and be aggressive and assertive right off the bat. And I think everybody went through the first half of the course, through the first 3K, a little bit faster than we'd have liked. Kathleen in particular, I think, got out a little bit fast. She was in great shape through 3,000, but she was in 3rd place by herself. The Women Mary girls that ended up coming back to beat her were just slightly behind her at that point. And I think that it threw Kathleen off her race just a little bit. But Carol then was back just a hair from that, and she charged through really well. So of course, there was no complaints. I mean, the first turn was a little sharp if you were on the inside. Luckily, we were on the outside, so we got around that turn and got going real well.
Now, coming up, you have the NCAA Regionals. It's going to be back hosted by UVA. The season sort of began with UVA duels. I know not everybody ran in that race, but it sort of brings everything full circle now, going back to that track. So what do you expect out of that meet coming up?
Well, it's a very different course than we've been running recently because it's got a very long hill. It must be about 500 meters long. But it comes in the middle of the course. It comes at a point where you're not beat up a whole lot at that point. So I think it's a good course for us to run because we do run a lot of hills every day. Everything we run has hills in it. So I think that it'll be a good course for us. We just need to be a little more patient and do more forward racing than we did at conference, which I think we will. It's our best way for most of our people to race anyway. So we're looking forward to it. I think that we're capable of running even a little bit better than we raced at conference. And if everybody has the right day, then I think we can be very successful there.
We'll definitely stay tuned to JMUsports.com for a full recap, interview, stuff like that, seeing how the team does at the NCAA Regionals. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.